Hey, welcome back to EvilsComics. I'm Evilmike. This is going to be the reviews from my comic pickups from 6/23/2021. I already kind of did the two reviews before on two of the Image books, Stray Dogs and Vinyl. Go check those out if you haven't. These are going to be like, I have two more left in that pickup, so I'm just going to mix in DC books at the end of it. I mean, I'm going to put time codes for everything. Just because there was so much DC, so I was going to split them up anyways. But let's get into it. Something is Killing the Children, number 17, James Tinney and the Fort. I mean, overall art was really good. I mean, we're at the House of Slaughter, the house of the Saint George Pierre. We do get a lot more of the origin story because they're at one point they're filling in Erica on the backstory on how the Order of Saint George was founded, and it's based on that story of like a knight killing the dragon, basically in Christian mythology. But basically it's setting up that she's about to go through this trial, that to be inducted into the Order of Saint Pierre, that she's going to have to go through this ordeal, that all the other students have had to do the same thing, or else they weren't even accepted, and she's already in the house, so she's kind of bypassed some of the steps. That's kind of where it leaves it. I will say the ending was really good. To see, I think his character's name is Rico, but we do meet Rico in the beginning, and he tries to bully Erica, and Erica's just not having it. She's already a badass at an early age. But overall, it was a really good read. I mean, it is kind of setting up towards the House of Slaughter, that free comic book day. I think a lot of the trials we're not going to get to see towards, until then, but something to look forward to. Heck yes. ShadeCraft number 4 from Image Comics. Oh my god, I've been waiting for this comic for so long. The first 3 issues were really story build up, and the third one really left us at a cliffhanger where, and if you haven't read this, spoiler, but from the previous issues, but in this one, it's going forth with the premise that yes, our main character, I think her name is Zadie, but that she can create shadows, that she's learning right here that she potentially might have created her brother, while he's in this coma, and the shadow thing that's been following her around is something that she created using her magic. We do learn in this comic book that is not the case, that it could or could not be. We really don't know, but we find out that this counselor that she met previously, that she thought was a good guy, might be the bad guy in the series. Like, there might be this secret FBI organization that's after Zadie and her ShadeCraft powers, her abilities to manipulate shadows. We do find a lot more of her origin stories, that her parents, specifically her mother, has similar powers, more advanced, because she was trained by this school counselor, FBI person. And it was such a great read. I can't really go any more forward in that without giving away too many spoilers that are in this issue. But this is where I mean, we're finally getting like kind of an antagonist, where the story's kind of headed to. I'm kind of finally getting a grasp of where I think the story's going. It was overall really good. The story has been good overall, but this is like the meat of the story. Alright, now on to the DC. Teen Titans Academy 4. The first 2 issues were kind of like meh. To me, the 3rd issue and the 4th issue is really where it got good, and I think that's going to be the standard going forth, which usually for me is 3 issues. I usually give a comic run like 3 issues, and then if it hasn't caught me by then, I kind of drop it. I think I might have to up it to 4 and 5 now, because it seems like the 3rd and 4th issues are the good ones. This one is following the backpack. I didn't get the cover I wanted. I wanted them on the cover, and for some reason my LCS did not have that. It was cover A. I guess the backpack was that sought after, and But I love the backpack. That's all it was we were getting to know about them and them, you know, trying to figure out the mystery of who was Red X. You know, I mean, they got like your whole like It's Sunny in Philadelphia and you know mystery spread going on there. But we learned a lot about Chupacabra, Megabat, and Brat Girl. Excuse me. That is the backpack, and they're trying to figure out who Red X is. They're going through different candidates. It's really set up as a jokey type of, you know, Batman detective style. Like what they know about Batman's kind of funny at sometimes. Some of the other things they do about Batman is kind of scary. I love them. It's one of the new, you know, additions to Batman's world that I do appreciate. I will say that the ending was kind of like a oh crap kind of moment. It was kind of cool. Again, overall so far everything I've read has been just really good. So far there were no duds, and I kind of put them in order. So as it goes, they're just gonna get better. But they were all like super good, art wise, story wise. Again, same thing. Like fourth part of the story, Justice League number 63. I thought it was going to be like this whole trial thing about Naomi. No. It continues off right where we left off. This big battle with this new guy, Zimbardo. I mean, there is like, you know, where Naomi wakes up and they're back at, you know, I guess the Watchtower, if they're, or the Hall of Justice. I don't know where they are presently. But it does kind of, she got knocked out at some point, and Black Canary's kind of filling her in. Like, you know, and basically Naomi went like bat shit crazy, and you know, kind of like, you know, went toe to toe with this new bad guy, and the new bad guy, I guess, has already fought Naomi and defeated her easily, and this time it was a big hassle. We did find out that Hawkgirl's her mace with the nymph magic, that it reacted all weird around Zimbardo. Eventually they end up taking off. Eventually it got to the point where Naomi got so strong and she was losing control of her powers that she kind of like knocked out Superman. At that point, like, everybody took off. Batman doing his Batman stuff. He did steal some tech from the new people that we meet in this, and it kind of like is going to detour them for a little while because it was like their ability to transport to our Earth. We do finally get the Justice League, specifically Superman, asking, you know, Shazam to, I mean, not Shazam, my bad, Black Adam to join the Justice League, and the way it was done was nice. You know, I've heard a lot of people talking about, oh, he's a villain, you know, he's always done, I mean, people can change, and the way Superman worded it right here was just amazing. It was well written. It's not what you would expect, especially that idea of, you know, bringing Black Adam into the Justice League. At the same time, Superman also, you know, hopped the offer at Hippolyta, I think her name is pronounced. And, you know, I will spoil this, but we finally do get them asking, you know, Naomi to join the Justice League. It's not really a spoiler. I mean, we found out like 4 issues ago that that's what was coming in future state. So I mean, it's not really a spoiler. But I mean, overall, this is a great issue. It was the art was amazing. I mean, it was super poppin'. I mean, full panel spreads, battles. I mean, it was nice. It was nice. Justice League Dark was the backup story, and again, it was just as good a story as they've all been. We're still kind of like, we're following Merlin, and he was after this like secret dark, you know, new magic that was from the deepest, darkest trenches near Atlantis or something like that. And Constantine and them were kind of stuck in this this little universe or whatever. They do have this one cool, like, where Constantine kind of used this magic to get out of this trick that Merlin got him stuck in, because they were stuck in this kind of like magic trap that Merlin had sprang for them. They do go into this like where Man-Bat and I think he's the current Dr. Fate are trying to get out of the of Fate Tower. For some reason they're locked in there. But it's a whole bunch of stuff that Merlin's doing. We don't know what he's doing, but they're on the trail. At the end of us, we do run into this girl in Gotham City, and I don't know if it's a first appearance or anything, but it appears that Batman's gonna help this girl track down something to do with Merlin. The side story sounds kind of confusing and everything. It really wasn't. It's just at this point, it's a lot of like, you know, build up to the end reveal kind of thing. So we don't really know a whole lot of what Merlin's got going on yet. Next up, a really good, if y'all don't know about this, run out and go get it. It was so good. Batman Reptilian. I thought this was all going to be like a Killer Croc type thing. So far it was not. It is a murder mystery. I will say the art is just amazing. It has a more like painted feel of art to it. I hope y'all can see this because it was so beautiful by Liam Sharp, I think. There was also like a beautiful forward in the very beginning to someone that was close to him that passed away, Steve Dillon. I'm not aware who that is. I apologize if I'm supposed to. But I thought it was really touching. But I mean, overall, it's basically set up where like you're following this murder mystery kind of style thing, and basically it's like Batman coming into this, or like us as the audience coming into it, where like most of the main, you know, rogues gallery from Batman's world is kind of gutted up. They're not dead. They've stated a lot, but that, you know. They even have the Phantasm in there, which is cool. But they got a Joker, like, you know, let's see, Clayface, Phantasm, Killer Croc, Ivy, Man-Bat, Scarecrow, Hatter, and Penguin, Two-Face, Joker, you know. So basically, like, it goes down that it won't, you know, basically the whole comic is set where Batman is, like, talking to this one guy, like, basically trying to get a CI to find out who did this who kind of tore up all of the, you know, Batman's rogue gallery. And basically the rest of the issue is Batman like threatening and, you know, in a Batman way, you know, trying to get this guy to talk and to get him to do, you know, kind of sneak into Joker's gang to, you know, piece together the clues that Batman's missing. Man, it was such a great read. That's all I'm going to go into it. That's pretty much, you know, I mean, there's a lot that I didn't go into, but man, if you're not even a Batman fan, this is a great Batman book. If you've never read a Batman book, because it has the detective side of it, there's some good funniness into it. I wouldn't say funny. I think there was like 2 lines where I was like, hey, you know. It was really good. Next up, a big one, Robin #3. And this issue did not disappoint. It continues on with the, you know, the Mortal Kombat style island. And basically, you know, Ravenger's still trying to go over what the island's trying to represent. Damien's still not grasping it, but she's just trying to get him to relax and chill out. She tells him he needs to find a friend. His friend's kind of already there. I love this setup and everything. They're trying to set up a flat line with Robin. And eventually Robin does do some cool stuff, like he does some bishop from, or the, you know, some tabletop knife, you know, where he, you know, impresses a whole bunch of villains and stuff. Basically, he kind of chills out for a second. They start going, I love this scene, but they start going off on this whole rant, all the villains do, about how, you know, Damien's dad, you know, either beat the crap out of him or did this crazy thing, and, you know, and Damien's just, he didn't want to hear about his dad, you know, that's why he's on this island. He's looking for the Lazarus Cult, but at the same time, you know, he doesn't want to be a part of Batman's world. So he ends up going off on his own. He does end up meeting this guy Hawk, who's supposed to be his main competition, Connor Hawk. And we do get a, you know, a toe-to-toe where they go with each other, and for a moment it does look like Damien has the upper hand. We find out that this Connor Hawk is with the new League of Assassins, and that's pretty much where I'm gonna leave it right there. It did not disappoint. It was really good. It actually added something else that the story for me was missing, because the first 2 issues were really fun and engaging and action. This one brought the story element to it. It didn't slow it down because there was action, but it brought it more to a, you know, what the heck Damien's going on. You know, the fact that he had to break away. Whoa, you know, and it was funny listening to all the villains joke about Batman and this and that. Man, I remember being loved, you know, for 20 blocks, you know, behind the Batmobile, you know. I mean, but Damien just wasn't feeling it. It was a really good moment. It was a really good read. Highly recommend. Man, Harley Quinn #4. And this is one of those comics where, you know, it was like the first 2 issues, I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't really feeling the art, the story. Don't get me wrong, I love Harley Quinn. Big fan. Big fan of Batman, of course. I even like the story setup, you know, because I've been following it since Future State. You know, her side of Batman and her side and you know, all of it. So the first 2 issues, you know, it was one of those things where it was like I almost quit, you know, and I've heard a lot of people talk about the same thing, and I totally agree. The art wasn't there, and the story was okay. It was like the over, you know, driven jokes that weren't really needed, that kind of thing. The 3rd issue got a lot better. I mean, they started setting up this like a support group for clown type thing. They were doing better jokes. Right at the end of the last issue, we had to run into Solomon Grundy. For one, I love that cover. I mean, the more I look at it, it's just so nice. And this is what I'm going at, is this issue really paid off. The art is, I'm just in love with this art. It got like so much better. But we're basically starting out with Solomon Grundy. It doesn't go like you'd think, even like the cover shows, but it's just Harley and Solomon Grundy chilling out. It's even got one of the funniest lines in comics that I've read in a while that actually made me bust out laughing type thing, where Solomon Grundy corrects Harley Quinn's grammar. But it's just a fun, lovable scene, and Harley Quinn's trying to figure out, you know, who she is in the world, especially because she's supposed to be the new version of Robin in Batman's world. We also catch up with this guy, I think his name is Kevin the Clown from Joker's gang, who's been hanging out with, you know, who got kidnapped by Hugo Strange. He's been hanging out with Harley. He's a part of that support group. We do see that Hugo Strange he's messing with them like psychically, and he's injecting them. I will say that I was already won by this much of the comic, you know. I mean, we're talking about 8 pages in. I was like, yeah, this is such a good read. The art. No. When it got to this page, and I was like, yes. When he did this whole, he gets injected by Hugo Strange, and he just has this major hallucination trip. And it's basically his whole time with the Joker and Harley, and he's seeing these different flashbacks and moments in time with him. And it was just so cleverly done. The art, it's just good. The more I look at it, there's all kind of stuff going on. There's all kind of little Easter eggs, killing joke, animated. You know, it's pretty cool. I will say I do love these, like, you know, little ads they got in the middle. But we do get to see Harley Quinn in her new, like, you know, trying not to be Robin, but still Robin in Gotham. She has her utility belt. She's out there to prove that she can, you know, help Batman and save Gotham at the same time. She actually gets the advice from Solomon Grundy, surprisingly enough. But she goes on, and she does end up trying to help save her friend Kevin that's kidnapped by Hugo Strange. She does do this whole sneakery, you know, through the complex thing, and that's basically where I'm going to leave it at, because there's a little more that goes into it. But basically, you know, this was an amazing read. It was so good. The art is finally paying off. It's such a... It's like the more the art grows on you, the more it fits with the comic and what Harley's going through. It's such a great example of like something I would be attracted to, but you know, the more I hear about the story, the more the art kind of makes a lot more sense. Kind of like waking up into a dream and everything's fuzzy at first, and then, you know, after things start making, I don't know. But this is half of my review. I still literally have to go read like 7 more books, but I'll be right back with the part 2 of my reviews for 623 in 2021. Like, subscribe, comment. If you read any of those books, tell me what you thought. Thank y'all for watching, supporting, and I'll see y'all next time. Y'all be great.